Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Devin Bartolotta.
And I'm Sharice Gibson. Today, the Jefferson Parish Sheriff announced an arrest in the murder of an employee of the New Orleans Police Department.
She was also an Uber driver who had no idea she was being targeted by a man who intended to kill someone, anyone who responded to his request for a ride. Meg Ferris has been following all of today's new developments and joins us live now. Meg, this is such a tragic story.
Well, I want to read to you a tweet by Wendell Pierce. It says, Yolanda Dillon, my church member for decades, a woman with a heart of gold and a deep love of God, was murdered yesterday. The murderous violence of New Orleans and this country has come even closer to me personally. We are in crisis.
You can't just go take nobody's life. Somebody who not doing you nothing, just take their life. That's my only child. I don't have no daughter.
Oh, man.
When your child leave in the morning, you expect to see him come back, you know.
Edna Dillon is living with cancer. Her only child, Yolanda Dillon, was everything to her.
She took very good care. She made my groceries and cooked and bought everything, you know. She paid all my bills and things. So he just left me with nobody, you know.
Yolanda was 54, a breast cancer survivor. She lived with her mom and was one step away from getting her PhD in sociology. She was driving Uber
to be a social worker and to help motherfuckers like this. Damn, this is rough. This is a rough. This is just all the fucking carnage that's suddenly leaving their wake. Like, yes, we just covered. I've been fair today. I've covered some gliders. I've tried to cover gliders. You know, this is. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is in public, and it's random. It's everything we just talked about. It's public. It's random. Brutal. There's no way to wrap your head around it. Like,
a breast cancer survivor. She lived with her mom and was one step away from getting her PhD in sociology. She was driving Uber to make extra money for tuition costs and all the Christmas gifts for family and church children. She was on an Uber run, and JP Sheriff Lapinto says she picked up 29-year-old Brandon Jacobs and dropped him off at the Travel Lodge in Harvey around 3 o'clock Thursday. As they pulled in, he just stabbed her from the back. You see him walk away. The next person goes to get in the Uber and sees the crime and runs back in for help.
When we asked him specifically, how did you pick her? His response was, I didn't pick her, Uber picked her. Meaning that she was the random person that picked him up that day. Deputies
arrested Jacobs of Harvey. He is charged with second-degree murder. The sheriff says there is a mental health aspect to this case.
He actually videotaped the incident, the aftermath of the incident, posted it on social media. We had to work with Facebook last night to get that removed this morning.
That doesn't mean he's mentally ill. That doesn't mean he's mentally ill. What are they talking about? Oh, they give us some man, they give us some man that mentally ill shit.
Actually videotaped the incident, the aftermath of the incident, posted it on social media. We had to work with Facebook last night to get that removed this morning.
For 10 years, Yolanda worked as a fiscal budget analyst at NOPD. Chief Ferguson describes her as quiet, humble, and always positive.
Truly an extremely lovely person. The team loved her. As I said, we really had to deal with some emotions this morning with our staff.
Now a mother wonders how she's going to go on.
He took my only child.
And that was Edna, the mom, and she says that Yolanda, her only child, was born on her birthday, and she didn't know that her daughter was picking up fares to go on Uber. She thought she was just delivering food, like with Uber Eats. Now, the funeral is going to be here at St. Paul the Apostle, which is in New Orleans East, but they don't have a date set yet. Yolanda was very active in this church, helping the children. She was a lecturer. She did many things here, and people here are mourning as well. Reporting live.
Yeah, it's fucking sad right there.
Damn shame.
Jesus Christ.
Well, 6 people have been shot at 2 separate stores in New Orleans in just 20 hours, if you can believe it.
Damn.
Well, 6 people have been shot at 2 separate stores in New Orleans in just 20 hours, if you can believe this. Good evening, I'm Sharice Gibson.
And I'm Devin Bartolotta. The latest happened just before 1 this afternoon at a Dollar Tree on Chef Mentor Highway. 4 people were hurt. Today's shooting was just over a mile away from where 2 people were shot and killed yesterday. That shooting happened at the Walgreens at Gentilly Boulevard and Elysian Fields Avenue.
And tonight's top story, Erica Ferrando spoke with people in the area who say they are fed up.
The 4 people who were shot at this Dollar Tree just after noon Thursday are expected to survive. But after hearing of this shooting, following another one day before at another store just down the street, neighbors who live in the area say they don't know if they can go anywhere and feel safe. When Sylvia and Woody Turpinton got married about 35 years ago.
We both worked at Ochsner Hospital.
Is that how you met?
That's where we met. Yep.
They began to cherish a weekly tradition, a Sunday afternoon in the French Quarter.
We just adored going to the river walk, and I would buy a cigar, which I love to smoke. My wife would eat ice cream, and we would sit out and watch the boats pass by going down the river. But we won't do that anymore because there's been so much crime in the French Quarter.
I've been there, man. When I was there in 2015, if the thought of there being crime in the French Quarter, it's terrifying, man. That was the safe place. They told you, yeah, as long as you stay in here, you're pretty cool. Just don't go. When you leave here, we can't do anything for you, but you're here, you're pretty cool. When I was down there during Mardi Gras, my God.
They haven't visited the French Quarter in 3 years, and their traditions they enjoyed after moving into their Gentilly Woods home 33 years ago have stopped too.
When we first moved in, it was beautiful. We used to go walking every evening, riding our bikes, but not anymore. It's dangerous.
Now the grandparents to 9 limit their trips to church and the grocery store.
And we go to Lakeside Shopping Center, and we feel safe there. And
Lakeside Shopping Center. What do you think the demographics are at Lakeside Shopping Center?
Side Shopping Center, and we feel safe there. And that's about it. Otherwise, we don't go anywhere else.
He would even discourage his wife from shopping at the Dollar Tree just around the corner. She was there Saturday.
To get a birthday card.
Not anymore.
Oh, no. You don't have to tell me.
It's where 2 adults and 2 juveniles were shot Thursday afternoon, according to police. 2 were targeted and 2 were innocent bystanders shopping inside.
When you see the yellow tape, it's like you automatically assume someone's dead.
This woman had to pick up her prescription at a Walgreens next to the Dollar Tree. She normally goes to the one at Gentilly and Elysian Fields, but it was closed. She learned a 16-year-old girl and a man were shot and killed there a day earlier.
It disgusts me. It's like, I really want to sometimes leave here.
The violent 24 hours came just as NOPD Superintendent Sean Ferguson announced his retirement.
I really hate to see him retire. And who are we going to get next? Are they going to be someone who can do the job as well?
It's a big
that
job.
That police chief is pretty young to be retired. He can't be no more than 50, man. He's like, fuck this shit.
As residents like the Turpintons wish they could relive some of their old favorite traditions.
I'm hoping that we get people who are able to come up with good ideas to handle it.
New Orleans police are asking for your help to find both shooters in both the Walgreens and Dollar Tree shootings. You can report any tips anonymously to Crime Stoppers. Erica Ferrando, Eyewitness News.
Right.
Hey, yo, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys have a good night. God bless.
Yeah, have a good one, man.
You too, man.
I mean, the ideas are not complicated. They're just impossible, evidently, you know? It's pretty straightforward, the solution. A solution. Right, there's guys shooting up the block. Maybe they shouldn't be on the block, right? Who gives a fuck what trauma they experience in their life? They should not be amongst the community who is in danger because they're amongst the community.
It's just...
Well, it's no secret the New Orleans Police Department is facing some major challenges, including finding a replacement for Superintendent Sean Ferguson.
And now eyewitness investigator David Hammer found NOPD is trying to deal with its image problem through a new social media strategy.
3 people shot in a span of 6 minutes in 2 separate incidents just blocks apart. September 17th was a horrific night of violence in Gentilly Woods and Pines Village that left a man dead and 2 injured. And the public could follow it all on the New Orleans Police Department's Twitter feed. City Council crime analyst Jeff Asher tracked more than 1,300 shooting incidents since January 2021, matched them with more than 700 NOPD Twitter alerts, and found the department used Twitter to notify the public about 60 to 70% of shootings most months. But then a team of consultants led by former New York Police Chief Fausto Pichardo and management consultant John Linder came out with a report on how to strengthen NOPD operations. It recommended, quote, controlling the narrative across all social media platforms. Asher kept tracking the NOPD Twitter account and found shooting alerts dropped off the table from half of all shootings in September to 24% of them in October to just 7.5% of them in November. Only 5 of the 66 shootings last month got an alert on Twitter. Instead, NOPD started tweeting about more arrests, holiday events, and press conferences.
You should accentuate the great work of NOPD officers. No doubt about it.
City Council President Helena Moreno says NOPD should do a better job touting their officers' accomplishments.
But it doesn't mean that you then not provide any information about the negative, particularly when you're a public agency like the NOPD. The people of the city deserve to know the truth about what's happening in our community, particularly when it comes to violence.
NOPD spokesman Gary Sheets confirmed to us in an email, quote, there has been a shift in messaging strategy to include more news about positive departmental accomplishments. But he quickly added that all shootings are still reported to area news outlets every day on the department's major offense log.
I don't see the logic of not doing it or any kind of valid reason as to not to share this information.
Criminologist Ashraf Esmail runs the Center for Racial Justice at Dillard University, and he says the public has come to rely on social media for these important alerts.
You know, obviously when there's a violent crime or shooting, this is a crisis going on, and the public needs to be alerted quickly. And generally, the public, like many of us, have our phones. We're on, the internet right now. We get alerts very quickly.
Moreno says she plans to ask NOPD to resume Twitter alerts about all.
Jesus Christ. They're probably doing that shit because Sunmen, the people doing the shooting Sunmen is making Sunmen look bad and yada yada, fucking yada yada. Damn. Sunman just ruined their lives down here in New Orleans.
Right now, a special church service is starting for a beloved former teacher. She fell from a bridge this morning after being hit by a car. Rachel Handley has more on what she meant to the community and to her friends.
Uh-oh.
It was their ritual. Every morning, Carol Roberts and her best friend Cindy Hoyle ran across the Woodland Bridge.
They started their day together every day.
Wednesday morning would be their last time. Around 6 a.m., the NOPD says a man was driving into the city on the bridge. He hit Roberts, and the impact sent her over the edge of the bridge to the ground below. Police think the thick fog overnight was one of the reasons the man crashed. Hoyle thankfully wasn't hurt. She says she wanted to talk about her friend, but it was just too painful, so her daughter stepped in.
Miss Carroll never saw something that she didn't think was right without trying to turn it in the right direction with a loving hand.
That heart for service took her to an English classroom at Belle Chase High in 1972. She taught there for 20 years.
She just touched so many lives. So many of our faculty had her as her English teacher.
And some goddamn sunman ran her off the fucking road. And kept going.
When asked whether her mom will keep
Right.
walking in the morning, Amy Hoyle said she wasn't sure.
I think my mom will probably continue to find some way to walk and try to feel that same closeness to God and to her friend Carol.
And by chance, she was able to see her friend smile again. Robert's family Christmas card showing her with her husband, her 2 kids, and her grandkids came in the mail today. Rachel Handley, Eyewitness News.
That woman's just dead. Like, she's just dead. You know.
Magazine Street business owner cleaning up her store after the window was busted this weekend.
And the frustration comes after an exciting week. Her handmade umbrella made an impressive appearance in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Erica Frando joins us now with more. I'm sure this was so disappointing for her.
It was, but it was exciting the week before that, because if you watched the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and saw Mariah Carey perform, you probably took notice of a bright red umbrella with thousands of crystals. That umbrella was made by the owner of Bella Umbrellas here in New Orleans. It was a major highlight in her career, but her focus this week has shifted after her business was vandalized.
These are all handmade in Italy.
The ceiling inside Bella Umbrella on Magazine Street is dripping in eccentric, bright, one-of-a-kind umbrellas.
It's like a wonderland of color.
Jodelle Egbert started her business after realizing her passion for collecting vintage umbrellas.
From the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. I had amassed like 200 pieces.
Egbert started renting them out
for $25
and eventually learning to make her own.
My first umbrellas that I handmade were in Sex and the City.
Prop masters with movie and TV crews caught on.
I've made umbrellas for American Horror Story, for Bridgerton.
And 2 weeks ago, she received a mysterious call.
We need a custom umbrella for a very famous singer that's going to be performing in the Thanksgiving Day Parade.
In days, she designed a red umbrella with jewels.
She came back and said, Mariah Carey. I was like, no! I mean, that was like, oh my gosh.
Her moment that was followed this Saturday at 3 a.m. by a disheartening phone call.
I'm standing out in front of your shop. It's been compromised. My window is just smashed. And it's such a beautiful, old, historic window.
Egbert says nothing was taken.
Thank goodness. I had some of my most expensive, beautiful Italian umbrellas in the window.
But a replacement window will cost $3,000 to $4,000.
Talking to my landlord, and yeah.
Oh, okay, so nothing was stolen.
Because the sunman didn't know what
the value.
Right now, a special church service.
If they would have known, they'd taken that cheap.
Oh yeah, if they had known hundreds of dollars, yeah, definitely.
So sold it for like $50 bucks.
Or couldn't find a good seller for it and just like left it somewhere.
I have no
It'd be
idea.
pretty hard to find.
Shit about umbrellas like that.
Yeah, they ain't gonna find no. They wouldn't find no deal on those shits. They just steal it just for practice.
Just to like fucking ruin somebody's life.
Yeah.
Now that's priceless. You know what I mean? You can't put a price on ruining people's lives. Because they say, Chief, if you do what you love, you don't work a day in your life or some shit, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right, good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Sharice Gibson. Katie has the night off. The fatal beating of a Missouri tourist in his hotel room last week was alarming in a city that depends on tourism. But other than a quick arrest, a few details were revealed. Well, now in a story we broke earlier on our website, WWLTV.com, investigative reporter Mike Pearlstein has uncovered exclusive information about this shocking crime.
73-year-old David Sorensen was sleeping with his wife at the Avena Plaza Hotel on St. Charles Avenue Thursday night when their trip turned into a tragic nightmare. According to authorities, the couple from Wildwood, Missouri, was startled by a fire alarm in the hotel and then a stranger knocking at their door. After police arrived a short time later, Sorensen was dead from a beating, and this man, 29-year-old Martin Hurtado, was booked with second-degree.
Okay, so you got gliders, man.
Is he a glider or an umbrito?
Martin Hurtado? Yeah.
Hurtado, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll give it to the gliders, but it could be an
I
umbrito.
can't tell the face. I can't see the face really because of the beard. But yeah,
That could be a glider last name, Hurtado, like some kind of Italian.
yeah, exactly. It's hard to tell though. But I'm looking into his eyes. I can see some. I can see
Murder. We found out right away that the killing occurred on the 6th floor of this hotel. Now, this police report reveals that this may have been a bizarre and completely random act of violence. An arrest warrant affidavit from an NOPD homicide detective states that Hurtado admitted drinking at the restaurant where he worked, Tacos and Beer, about 5 blocks from the hotel. He told...
So he worked at a hotel. White people are strange, man, because just like that FedEx driver that fucking killed that little girl while he was delivering packages.
Oh, yeah.
These gliders are weird. Like, the fuck is...
Side detective states that Hurtado admitted drinking at the restaurant where he worked, Tacos and Beer, about 5 blocks from the hotel. He told a detective, quote, he could not remember anything after that. But security camera video from inside the hotel shows Hurtado knocking on all the doors of the rooms on the 6th floor, stopping at the room where the Sorensens had been sleeping. The report goes on to say that the victim's wife opened the door and a man pushed her inside, telling her, quote, I'm not here. Don't tell anyone I'm here. When the woman ducked into the bathroom for safety, she, quote, observed the male punching her husband in the face. When officers arrived, they found Hurtado inside the bathroom of the Sorensens' room, bleeding from a cut to the face. David Sorensen was found motionless on his hotel room floor. Not much is known about Hurtado other than he has a history of working at local restaurants and was living at an apartment in Uptown New Orleans. He is now being held on a $350,000 bail at the Orleans Justice Center. Mike Perlstein, Eyewitness News.
We reached out to the Sorensens family in Wildwood, Missouri, a semi-rural area that's about 40 minutes west of St. Louis, but they declined to comment.
Yeah, everybody don't want to jump in front of a camera like at that moment, man. Jesus Christ.
Investigators today have laid out a timeline of when they believe Father Otis Young and Ruth Pratt crossed paths with their accused killer, Antonio Tyson, Sunday afternoon. Erica Ferrando joins us.
Antonio Tyson. Give me a race on Antonio Tyson. This is a dangerous city, man. Give me a race on Antonio Tyson, man. God.
I'm going to say a tiger.
Oh. This city only has 300,000 people. This is not a big city.
It's a lot going on.
God.
It's very impressive. I gotta admit.
Yeah, right. It's shockingly impressive. It's like you feel bad and you're disgusted, but then it's like touche. If you're good at something, listen, if you're good at anything, there's people who somebody out there probably collects ant shit. And if you got the best ant shit collection out there, if your ant shit collection dwarfs the second best ant shit collection out there, too, hats off, man, G. God damn, it's a dangerous fucking place for everybody. Yeah. No one's safe.
Investigators today have laid out a timeline of when they believe Father Otis Young and Ruth Pratt crossed paths with their accused killer, Antonio Tyson, Sunday afternoon. Erica Ferrando joins us now from the coroner's office with the latest on this investigation. Erica.
Well, Devin, police say there's no evidence the suspect knew Father Otis or Ruth Pratt prior to Sunday when he allegedly killed them. And at this point, police haven't released a possible motive, but we did learn a lot about the events they believe unfolded Sunday night into Monday morning.
She was an angel on earth.
A devoted pastoral associate at St. Peter Catholic Church, Ruth Pratz, was known as that and much more to her family.
An amazing mother, an incredible, devoted grandmother. They called her Mimi. And it's just heartbreaking.
Her son-in-law and another son-in-law's brother listened Thursday afternoon as the St. Tammany Parish coroner publicly released her name as the second victim in the Covington double homicide.
These are painful and shocking losses for us all. Father Otis and Ruth gave of themselves in service to the people of God.
Coroner Dr. Charles Preston says he used surgery records to identify Father Otis, comparing the surgical records to his remains and DNA sampling from Pratz's daughter to ID her. They died of blunt force trauma.
We know you're all hurting because we at the Covington PD are hurting also.
Police still haven't said the reason they believe the suspect in.
So not a tiger?
Not a tiger, man. Little shoulders on that motherfucker, man.
Monster.
He fucking, they didn't have a chance.
The gliders don't seem to have a chance. I wonder if they knew the other glider that was fucking killed. It's a small world, see?
You know the one that got ran off the road?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they might have known. The both two might have known each other. Yeah.
You can't make this shit up, man. You can't.
Yeah. So.
PD are hurting also.
Police still haven't said the reason they believe the suspect, Antonio Tyson, killed them, but they shared this investigation began Sunday afternoon just after 7 when Pratt's car was involved in a hit and run, but no one was able to reach her and her phone was pinged in a dumpster. At 3:40 Monday morning, the car was spotted at a Walgreens with Tyson inside. The bodies were discovered burned behind a business hours later. As investigators began searching for surveillance video, they say they learned...
They found their bodies burned.
Shared this investigation began Sunday afternoon just after 7 when Pratt's car was involved in a hit and run, but no one was able to reach her and her phone was pinged in a dumpster. At 3:40 Monday morning, the car was spotted at a Walgreens with Tyson inside. The bodies were discovered burned behind a business hours later. As investigators began searching for surveillance video, they say they learned Tyson rode his bike past Pratt's home Sunday afternoon, then briefly spoke with her and Father Otis. Police say the video shows him later show back up with a knife, then at 6:30 drive away in her car.
At this point, we don't have any evidence or proof to say that they had any relationship or he knew them prior to this incident.
And according to police, it appears random. As police continue their investigation, families and friends of Father Otis and Ruth Pratz are focusing on the legacies they leave behind.
When that son man saw them and walked up on them, I don't give a fuck if he was talking about I want to be saved. Father, can you save me? Can you tell me the fucking scripture? Then in no circumstance can you still be out there when he gets back. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
He came with they're too vulnerable. Those look like two seniors. He saw a lick. He didn't see them as humans. He saw them as a lick. Like I could easily get a car. All I gotta do is kill them, set their bodies on fire, and leave them somewhere. I can have a car for the night.
Father Daniel Brulietta, St. Peter Church, says Father Otis spent years working as a CPA and felt called to become a priest in his 40s.
But he had a laugh and a personality that was 4 times his size. And he would listen and he would pray and he would celebrate, he would mourn, he would heal.
And Ruth.
Just a beautiful soul, dedicated to the life of the church.
The two were dear friends, and Ruth took care of Father Otis after he suffered a stroke.
Physical therapy. She would take him to the grocery. She was a caretaker, and we suspect that Sunday they probably gotten together to go over to her house to watch the Saints game.
And as many in Covington ask what they can do, Father Bouliet asks for prayers.
We know that when we die, the prayers of the faithful that are here are still so important, right? And so please continue to pray for them.